All right, Yellowstone, part 2. Okay, so just to recap, me and my friend, I'm gonna call him Brian. Me and my friend Brian. Me and Brian are on our way up to Yellowstone. We already have the jobs locked in, and they tell us about our what we're gonna do, and we're just like, okay. And we're trying to get away from the South Bay, and we're just like, all right, let's go. So it was a decision made very fast. So we packed up our car and we filled it all the way up to the gills, and we took off. So we had went, and I can remember the first place we actually stopped was San Francisco. We're in San Francisco, and we went to the Fisherman's Wharf. Um, we saw, like, we were just there very briefly, just kind of like drove through it really more than anything. Just went to like Lombard Street and like some of the hills or whatever. Like, it was actually kind of cool. I had been there before, but not in years, like a really long time. Um, so, we go there, and then we go to Chico, and then we go to Paradise, like I was telling you. I had so much footage. So after that, this is where I'm continuing from. So after that, we leave, and Brian has a cousin that he used to live. Him and his cousin used to live across the street from my like best friend growing up. So like he's a year younger than us. Even my friend Brian and his cousin are a year younger than me and my friend, but like he lived across the street from him, and we went to the same school, and he always got a pass. He got a pass for being like more accepted by us than like anybody of his like grade or any his age really, than us. Like he was definitely more accepted, but like we did kind of mess with him, but it was all in good fun, and he knew that at the end of the day, and he still would know that at the end of like this day. So anyways, um, I I say all that to say, I'll give you a little bonus story. One time, I can't remember what my friend did. That my friend that lived across the street from Brian. But we were over there one time, and he showed up on his doorstep. He showed up on his doorstep and like knocked on the door. And my friend, he he goes and he looks like we're playing video games, something like in the living room, and then he looks out and he can see like from where we're at, like who's on his front porch, and he can see that it's Brian. So he's like, he looks at me and he goes, shh, and he goes into his room and he grabs his BB gun, and it was like an airsoft gun, like a nice like Desert Eagle looking like airsoft gun. So he goes shh, grabs it. He's like putting the gas inside of it, like shh, and then he just goes and he goes up to his door. He like kind of sneaks up to his door, and then he opens the mail slot and he just goes and just like shoots him in the stomach. He's like, oh, like, it was oh man, it's funny. It was funny. It was like things like that. Like, like it's not like it wasn't personal. Hey, it's strictly business, man. Nothing personal. Um, but that was just a small example, man. I got stories for days just with this kid, man. But regardless, you know, uh, he had a cousin named Galen, and damn, I probably shouldn't use his real name. Anyways, he had this cousin, and he actually worked at a food place that we said he had like talked to his cousin and said that we were traveling up, and he was like, "Oh, you should come by my work. I'm gonna be working from this time to this time, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I forget what the city was called, but it was more north than Chico. I know that, and it's further up. I could figure it out, but because I know it was after we left there. And so we stopped by there. So basically, we were going to Montana, which is like a diagonal like line from Southern California, and we decided to go like up and like, kind of like a L. Like we started to go north, and then to just go like through it like that way. Oh, and we also had somebody that lived in Salt Lake City, Utah, that was another friend of Brian's that she let us stay at her place. That was really cool of her. Um, so it's crazy. We we're in Salt Lake City, and we get there, and we're thinking about it, and we're like, yo, like we're about to be like in the wilderness, like away from like anything or whatever, and we're like, we should probably buy a, you know what I'm saying? And we actually drove to a range and or like a shop that had a range, and like basically the guy told us because we were from California, we couldn't get one because we were in another state, which like makes, I'm not gonna know, I don't know the laws. I'm not like a guy like that, so I didn't know. And then the guy, I just remember the guy tried to convince us that like shooting at the range was like just as good, and it was like gonna cost like a bunch of money for like nothing. And we were like, yeah, 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 we'll be right back, we just gotta go get some money, like we're gonna gotta go like to the ATM or something. And we were like, dude, we're not gonna do that. That sounds so lame. He was trying to like, I think he was like saying we could shoot airsoft guns for like $200 a piece for like an hour or something. Like it was ridiculous. Like, so, anyways, this is a good part. So then we crash at this girl's house, and then like when we're staying, it's like we stay, but then we only have so much time until we gotta go, so we can't get too much comfortable. So we leave, and it's night, and like we had brought some tobacco with us. You know what I'm saying? Tobacco. And we had we were driving into Utah. The whole time we had been smoking tobacco. Whole time. Whole time. And we're driving in Utah. Like we're not thinking about driving through different states. We're not thinking about anything. Like literally anything. And I can remember this. I had my own cigar, and my friend had his own cigar, and it's like 11:30ish or whatever, and we both like we literally light them up at like this like the same time, and within like 5 minutes I see a blue and red flashing lights behind us, and we're getting pulled over, and like we're like both of us we put our thing out real quick. I don't even know what I can't even remember what it probably just was sitting in the ashtray, honestly. It was out, but like literally like we like I think we rolled the windows down to try to like, can you imagine that, like getting pulled over like mid like boxing basically, like and then like getting pulled over, the lights on you, and then like opening the windows and just the smoke just coming out. Like that's exactly what happened. So then we're like waiting, and the cop starts to walk up to the side of the car, and he's walking up, and he actually walks up on my side. And apparently that's a thing they do, and I guess it's fairly common, because for them to not be standing, they want to be standing away from the street. So he's on my side, okay? And I will let you know what happens after that in the next installment, which will be right next. All right.